Klopp was everything to Liverpool. Slot is cooking. Let him finish what he's cooking. I think that was why we were good in the second half of games so often. I think Isak will come through the door as well.
Do you think?
Yeah. We're moving different now, bro. But he's a rat. So his legacy is done.
Welcome to Voices of the Game podcast. Hope everyone is well. I have my brother, Drifty, founder of Kopish, on the show. How you doing, sir?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Looking forward to it. Welcome. Thank you for welcoming me and thank you for having me, man. Let's have some fun, bro.
Yeah, man, definitely. Before we begin,
you know what's so weird? Us having to be formal because we're filming. I mean, we're anything but formal, bro, when we talk to each other, but we have to be formal when we're filming. It's so funny.
Yeah, I know. It's because like we've known each other for over 20 years, and like we were even chatting maybe a couple of hours before this, chatting away, just talking about life, and then the camera comes on. Hello and welcome to. It's mad, isn't it? It's crazy. But before we begin, could you tell my audience exactly what Kopish is about?
We are a Liverpool-centric football fan channel where anything Liverpool FC, we just go ham, we chop it up. We love the club. Football is life and Liverpool is life. So if there's anything that breaks, like Florian, for example, where the rest of the league realizes we're going to win, we just chop it up, man. It's fun. You know what I mean? We love it. And yeah, man, I think we give unbiased but fair and real opinions. I think that's one of the things I'll say. I think what our audience tell us that they like is that we're not afraid to tell the truth. You know what I mean? Some people will pull punches. I don't really think we do. I think we hit the haymakers when we have to. Do you know what I mean? So I'd like to think so anyway.
First question I want to ask you, Drifty, is how do you think the culture has changed since Slot has arrived?
I was thinking about this. I don't know if I will say it's changed because we've always wanted to win. We've always aspired to be the best. It's funny because Klopp was everything to Liverpool. And he was like a second father to a lot of us. Sensational manager, one of the greatest to ever do it. And I miss him. But I will admit, a year further down the line from his departure, he was a lot more laid back than I realized as a manager. He was a winner. He wanted to win. He lived to win. But I think he could go home and sleep after a defeat, if that makes sense. I think he was a little bit more laid back, a little bit more accepting of life, should we say. That's how it is, isn't it? You win some, you lose some. Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas now Slaughter's coming, bro. He is making me realize how laid back Klopp was, because this ninja was talking about the Nottingham Forest defeat 4 months later, bro. He was he didn't get no sleep that night. He might not even have got sleep that week, bro. He was yeah, well, after that, bro, we just won 10 games in a row. He's still talking about that Nottingham Forest loss. He was vexed about it. So I'm he's made me realize there's a ruthlessness now and a determination that is making me realize Klopp was laid back. Do you get what I mean? So if anything, I'll say the only way I think the culture has changed a little bit more is I think we're going to be more ruthless now. I think he'll get rid of who he doesn't want. I don't think he'll give people too many chances. Klopp would be willing to give you 3 or 4 bad games out of loyalty, if anything. I think Slot is probably going to be a little bit more, you've had 2 bad games, you're out kind of thing. There'll be the exceptions to the rule, of course. Van Dijk and Mo, for example, they're so good. They'll get a blind. But, I mean, anybody else, I think that there will be a lot more ruthlessness going on. So, yeah, that's what I would say.
If Klopp tomorrow said, you know what? I made a mistake. I want to come back to Liverpool. And Slot was like, boy, it's open, but it depends on what the fans want. Would you take Klopp back?
I thought we were friends, bro. Bloody hell. No.
Wow.
And the reason I say no ain't even got nothing to do with Klopp. I want to let Slot finish what he started. Yeah. So I'm using logic. Because if I was going to use emotion, I would say yes. But I'll use logic. Slot is cooking. Let him finish what he's cooking. If I walk into the kitchen halfway through you cooking and you don't tell me anything, I don't know how long that stuff's been on the stove. I don't know how long that stuff was in the fridge. I don't know if it was even gone off. I didn't see the date on the packet. I don't know anything about what you're cooking. How can I truly prepare that meal to be the best it can be? I got to let you finish cooking it. Let Slot finish cooking, bro.
What do you make of Liverpool's tactical evolution this season?
I like it. I think it just gives a little bit more energy to the players come the end of the season. Although Slot himself actually admitted that the winter break really took him by surprise, and he's going to learn from that mistake of not rotating, because he believes we went out of the Champions League and we lost the cup final because the players were a little bit fatigued, because he was playing the same players a lot, and he took for granted the no Christmas break because he wasn't used to it. And I think a lot of managers and some players even admit that when they come into the Premier League, they're like, raw, like that period isn't just we don't get a break. That period is like every 2 or 3 days. Like you lot murder the players in that period. And he said he'll learn from that mistake. So I like the fact that he just makes the players run a little bit smarter rather than harder, and then it gives them a little bit more energy. I also like the fact that he's not as stuck in his ways. And that isn't even a slight on Klopp, because I think all the best managers are quite rigid. If you look at the way Ancelotti, Pep, Klopp, if you look at all the way these managers manage, even Mourinho, they were flexible but minimal within a fixed system. And every now and again would make tactical tweaks, but it would usually be more like seasonal rather than individual games. So every season will start, and then Pep, Klopp, there'd be a little tweet, you'd be like, oh, that's a bit different, because their quality, and they knew they had to evolve a little bit, but they didn't make too many adjustments during the season. They pretty much had the plan, and that would be how it would go. Whereas with Slot, what I do like about him is he'll change the formation or the tactic 3-4 times in one game. Like, yeah, he has his base 4-2-3-1 with a pivot and the number 10, but he will change his formation according to the opposition during the game. He makes so many brilliant halftime adjustments. That was why we became halftime FC. I don't even think it was because we were rubbish or we couldn't get started or whatever, which may be the case occasionally. I think we were playing a lot like a boxer. That first half was feeling out the opposition, finding range. Come out in the second half, bang. Do you know what I mean? Because now we get it. Few little tactical tweaks, boom. I think that was why we were good in the second half of games so often. Or we played the game against the team from the last time we played them, because he made good tactical changes. I don't know if you remember that Fulham game at home when we went down to 10 men, when Robbo got sent off. Bro, at first, I couldn't figure out what the hell he was doing. And in the end, neither could Fulham. And we should have actually won the game. And then it looked like we were the team with 11 men and they were down to 10 men. It was like Gakpo would be at left back, and then like he was there, and every 5 minutes he was changing to just keep Fulham guessing. Like Gravenberch went centre back, and he was doing all, and it was like, oh, this is crazy. What is he doing? If I'm not mistaken, I think at one point during that game, Virgil went striker.
Yeah.
It was mad, bro. It was like, what is going on? But it was brilliant, because Fulham, with a very good coach, by the way, in Silva, I think Marco Silva's a brilliant coach, was looking and just thinking, I don't know what the hell's going on here.
With the signings that we're making, are we seeing the beginning of the new and improved Liverpool?
Boy, we're spending like we ain't never spent before, bro. I think Isak will come through the door as well.
Do you think?
Yeah. We're moving different now, bro. We're moving different now. You know what I mean? We didn't win the lottery. We're acting like we won the Euro Millions, bro. You know, there's a big difference between winning the lottery and winning the Euro Millions. Like, the lottery can change your life. The Euro Millions can change your generations. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think this month's Euro Millions was 83 million. 83 million, bro. So we're moving like that, bro. We're moving like we won the Euro Millions at the moment. And I love it. And I don't think it will continue. I don't think next summer we'll go all out again. We won't need to, though. That's the beauty, innit? If you get your house in order, then you just need to make little tweaks here and there. You don't need to do anything major. So I think we're going to do major surgery this year and then just tweak it. I like it. I think Hughes and Edwards have got a point to prove. They got the contracts for Virgil and Mo done, which is good as well. I'm not going to let that go unnoticed. We were worried about that. And even though they took their sweet time with it, they still got it done, which is beautiful. I like it. I like the way we're moving. I do think we're a new and improved Liverpool now. And rightly so, man. We've waited a long time for our club to move like this. And even if it's only one window, at least we did it. You know what I mean? I think the last time we moved like this was a window we sold Coutinho. And then, I mean, we got Virgil in the January, and then we bought Fabinho, Alisson, and Shaqiri.
And Ox, right?
And Naby. Yeah, that was a good window. We moved differently in that window. We were moving a bit like that. You know what I mean? Like, we're finally bringing in great quality players at a high price. And you don't have to pay a lot. You could, I wouldn't care if we paid £10 million for Wirtz. He's still Wirtz, isn't it? But at least if that's the guy you want, you're paying what needs to be paid to get rid of your Bayern Munichs and your Man Cities, who have already admitted they were. I mean, I think it was just he wanted to come to Liverpool and didn't want to go to them, but they've claimed they were priced out. When can we ever say we've priced Man City out of a deal, bro? You know what I mean? So whether it's true or not, still great we did it.
I think like the biggest change for me is, yes, when we sold Coutinho, we used that money wisely. But with this transfer window, we've not sold anyone for us to be spending 150, 200 million plus. And this didn't really happen in Klopp's era. Why do you think that didn't happen?
I think it's a number of factors, bro. I think we've had a lot of prize money building up over the years that Klopp didn't have. Klopp had to earn that prize money. I think Slot was very smart last year. A lot of people think it was the club. I believe it was Slot. I believe he was like, if you can't get me Zubimendi, which I think is a blessing in the end now, because I look at Zubimendi and I watched him a lot closer this year than I did previously because I thought maybe we'd go back in for him or whatever. He ain't strong enough for the Premier League. I think Arsenal are getting someone they're going to get very frustrated with. He's good on the ball. Off the ball, I don't think he's going to be able to survive in the Premier League. But I think he looked at it and went, I don't want him. I mean, if I can't get him, I don't want anybody. Let me roll with this. I'm a coach. I'll get the best out of the players I have because I already have a great squad, which a lot of people slept on. Rivals said we wouldn't even get top 5. What kind of stupidness is that, bro? We was in a title race until the last 5 games. And I think we only fell away because of emotional exhaustion. Like, Klopp was leaving. We had loads of injuries that meant there was a lot of stress on the main players. And I think we just got mentally and physically tired last year. And it was only the last 5 games he fell away. How can the squad good enough to go to the last 5 games? We spent the most time at the top of the league last year. So everyone just went, Klopp leaving means all of those good players aren't going to be good enough anymore. No, that was why I predicted we'll win the league, because I knew that we had a squad good enough. But we didn't spend any money. Then we didn't spend again in January. We got all that prize money from Champions League this year, bro. We made it close to 100 million just from the group stages of the Champions League. You got the extra revenue from winning the league, the Premier League prize money. So I reckon it's just money being saved up, bro. You know what I mean? Money being saved up. We're smart. We've had that money there, and now we're spending it. And I think what's good about what we're doing, because where we used to have to, like, a Coutinho had to go before you could, teams would subconsciously or deliberately watch what you're doing and know how much money you had. Now, clubs can't do that because we haven't got 40 million for Nunes or 20 million for Jota or whatever to add to a kitty where they can go, well, you sold him and you got that much. So I know you've got money, so I want 10 mil extra or whatever. So I think it's better if we buy before we sell. Do you get what I mean? Because then you're not giving anyone, like, if you want to buy something, don't let the seller know how much you have, because then they won't give in. You know what I mean? You might let me have the car for £100 cheaper if you know I don't have £100. But if you know I've got £500, you're gonna want that extra £100. You're gonna be like, no, stop being cheap. You've got the money. So I think it's good that we don't have the whole world seeing how much money we've made for our players before we go and spend money. I like it. You know what I mean? I reckon they have an idea of who will buy what player and what player will go. So secretly, Verts, for example, let's just go on the premise that that money wasn't what was available and we did have to sell a player. I know they're probably thinking in their mind, all right, we'll get 40 for Nunes, we'll get 20 for Jota, that's 60, we'll get 15 for Tsimikas, that's 75. And they're like totaling up, so they know what they've got to play with even before they've got it. Do you get what I mean? So I think that's the main reason why we're moving like this. Loads of savings plus bare prize money from a great year.
Name me your 3 top Liverpool players of all time and why.
This is tough, bro, because I need you to explain to me whether I'm going on logic or emotion, whether I'm going on facts or feelings. No, I need to know, bro, because if you ask me to come at it from a feelings point of view, yeah, or an emotional point of view, I will give you an absolutely different 3 to the 3 I'll give you if you want me to come at it from a logical and factual point of view.
I want you to name me the players from a emotional feeling point of view, because like logic, because your logic is stats and whatnot, but we all get into football. We all love football because of how it makes you feel.
All right, from a feelings point of view,
and start with number 3 first.
Oh, this is tough. I'm gonna go Barnes.
Okay, number 3, and why?
Yeah, he's the reason I support the club. And even though I was a kid and I didn't watch much of him, because obviously he was retired before I became like big enough to like really care about football, he's still the reason. He was the only black guy on TV. He's Jamaican. My dad's sitting there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm watching my dad. At that age, you idolize your dad. You want to be your dad. Whoever your dad likes, you like. My dad's chatting for this guy called John Barnes. Oh, I like John Barnes as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I have an emotional attachment to Barnes. And then obviously as a grown-up, you start doing your research, you realize he's one of the best players who's ever played the game. So you're like, oh, that was why my dad loved him. He wasn't just black. He wasn't just Jamaican. He was great. Do you know what I mean? So I put all of that together and Barnes has got to be in my top 3. You know what I mean? Second, it's got to be Stevie. It's got to be Stevie. I watched that guy just be an absolute superhero. And just do things I don't think anyone else can do. You know what I mean? And people can look at me sideways all they want. I will argue this till the day I die. Why, when we have a conversation about being the best player to ever play in the Premier League, do we always think that we can't add Gerrard to that conversation? People will say our best midfielder. That's a fact. We don't need to talk about that. Yeah. I'm not arguing about Vieira and I'm not having that conversation. It's Gerrard. Yeah. But if we want to talk about the best to ever do it, full stop, people will be like, oh, you've gone too far. You said Gerrard, you've gone too far. Why? Why have I gone too far? What couldn't Gerrard do? Look at the achievements of a player from an ability point of view. Stop talking about how he didn't win 11 Premier Leagues like gigs and all that. I don't care about all that. We're talking about an individual. You can't bring me an accolade of a team to judge an individual. Do you get what I mean? You can't, because he's a grown man. So were all the other 25 men in the squad and the other 10 men who played with him in the game. And why are you going to bring him down if they couldn't match him for us to win more trophies? So from an ability point of view, what couldn't Gerrard do? Because I tell you what, he could strike a ball as good as Henry. I don't care what you say. He can strike a ball as good as Henry. He was a better header than Henry. He had a better pass than Henry. He could tackle better than Henry. I think he was more intelligent than Henry because he could play multiple positions. Just like, I'll be honest with you, bro. What position do you think Gerrard couldn't play?
Goalkeeper.
There you go. I reckon you could put Gerrard at centre-back and it'll be to a high level. Do you get what I mean? It might not be Virgil, but it'll be to a high level. We're talking about a guy who played midfield, ran his socks off for an entire game against a team far superior to us. Then saw Serginho come on at the start of extra time and went right back and marked a fresh Serginho out the game for a whole extra time? Nah, bro, what we doing? He was already man of the match before that, bro. Then he goes to right back for extra time and marks a fresh off the bench. Remember, Serginho's a bad boy. Now, I'm not talking about some random guy. Bro, come on. Come on, man. Stevie G, man. I think he's the greatest player to ever play in the Premier League. I love Henry. Henry will be second. Salah maybe third. But I don't know why people act like what I'm saying is weird when I say Gerrard is the best player to ever play in the Premier League. There was nothing he could not do. He was even quick. I know Henry was faster than him, but Gerrard was still quick. Do you get what I mean? What couldn't Gerrard do, bro? There was nothing he couldn't do, bro. Nothing. Like you said it, going goal. Well, that's what we're going to judge him against, yeah? Right, you know, I reckon at the park he can still do a good job in goal as well. All I'm saying is, I just think he's the greatest. And then I say all that to sound like I'm contradicting myself when I give number one, because I didn't make Gerrard number one. But this is because you said feelings. Number one is Sadio Mane.
Oh, wow.
Not only because he was sensational. I never thought I would ever say, I love a man who isn't a family member. I love Sadio Mane. I just do, bro. It was an absolute pleasure and an honor to watch him destroy fullbacks and defenders and midfielders for the time he was at Liverpool. It was 5 years, I think we had him. Or 6 years, 5 or 6 years. No, am I talking about? It was longer than that. It was maybe about 7.
7 years.
Bro, I cherish every moment of watching him play for Liverpool. He was so good. Oh, man, he was so good. I just love everything about his character. The fact that he takes his wages and he goes and builds infrastructure in his hometown in Senegal. He gives, I think, like he pays for like the healthcare for people. He gives money, like a benefit system to the people who don't have money, don't have jobs. He builds hospitals, schools. Like, what a guy. What a guy, bro. From humble beginnings, you know what I mean? Had to sneak out from leaving home because his parents would have let him go. Only his uncle knew where he was going because his uncle was the one who believed his dream to move to Europe, to be able to become a footballer, because if he'd have stayed in this small village in Senegal, no one would ever know who he is. But this is real rags to riches. This is real, you know what I mean? Like, life, it's just beautiful, bro. And then to go, not just to be that little kid, but to go on to be one of the greatest wingers in Liverpool's history, one of the greatest wingers in Premier League history, to have won everything there is to win in the game. He won every trophy at Liverpool, every single one. There's not a trophy he didn't win at Liverpool. He won them all. FA Cup, League Cup, Champions League, Super Cup, World Club Cup, Champions League, everything. He won every trophy at Liverpool. He is an absolute legend, bro. Only John Barnes can compare to him as a Liverpool left-sided winger for me of all time. And I just, like I said, I just love him. So it's an emotional thing with him, because I know overall Gerrard's a better player than him. But yeah, and like I say, it's just great. He's a sensational footballer on top of being a great man as well. So yeah, Sadio's number one for me.
Okay. And let's continue with your emotions. Where does Mo Salah and Trent rank? And
Mo
let's start
Salah
with
and Rat, did you say?
So let's start with Mo Salah first.
Siri, spell Trent. R-A-T.
Oh, wow.
Fun that you. Salah, you know what's funny? I think Salah might be one of the most underappreciated, but at the same time appreciated players, because I think people do give him credit. I just don't think he gets enough credit. The numbers, man, is crazy. And there have been so many games where Mo hasn't really been good in the game. And rightly so, if you're going to judge the performance, you'd be like, he didn't play well today. But I think we're underestimating how good it is to be crap and still score. You know what I mean? Because normally when you're crap, you won't take the moment when it arrives. Do you get what I mean? So for him to have poor games and still just win games like he does, and then still have them other games like Newcastle away this season, but oh man, it was disgusting how good he was in that game. You know what I mean? Like, you get the best of both worlds with Mo. You get a player who can even do that, like when he ripped Man City a new one in 22-23 season, when he absolutely took the piss out of them. Or you can have a player who plays terrible and gets a brace. You get the best of both worlds with Mo. So I think he maybe gets judged a bit harshly on, like, when he has those bad performances and will score, and we don't appreciate that part. And the rest of the league definitely, not the league, but the rest of the world, I think, underrate him. Like, you talk about him winning the Ballon d'Or and people act like you're being crazy, but why are we then judging a team performance again on whether he should win it? So because he didn't win the Champions League, that means that he can't be the Ballon d'Or winner. Or because he doesn't win AFCON, it means he can't be the Ballon d'Or winner. Why not? If you look at his individual performance, maybe everyone else who played for Egypt or everyone else who played for Liverpool should have upped their game a little bit and got on his level so that he could have won those trophies. But that's not how life works, right? I just think the kid is special. He's real special, Salah. And I think when he goes, we'll look back so fondly on his time at Liverpool. 100%. Maybe see, you look at the John Barneses, the Kenny Dalglish, the Graham Souness, the Alan Hansons, the Kevin Keegans, the Graham Souness. We've got so many legends at this club, bro, that are elite, world-class, best-in-class players. So it's quite difficult to do the Salah's better than them because you feel like maybe you're just being a bit recency bias kind of thing. But at the same time, I don't even think you can argue that he is at the top of some of those lists. Do you get what I mean? Like, if someone said to me he's the best player to ever play for Liverpool, I can't say they're chatting rubbish. Do you get what I mean? That's how good he is. Like, I can't say you're chatting rubbish. I can just kindly disagree. But he's so good that you wouldn't go, what are you talking about? You'd be like, let's have a conversation about it then. You know what I mean? That's how good Mo is, bro. You know what I mean? It's a longevity as well, isn't it? Like, by the time his contract ends, I think it'll be 10 years he would have been at Liverpool by the time his contract ends. To be this consistent for that long is remarkable, bro. Innit? When you think about it, like, to think about like, I don't think he's ever had a season he hasn't scored 20 goals. And he's a winger, by the way. I know football's changed a little bit, but he ain't a striker. He's a winger, a wing forward. And he's never had a season he hasn't got 20 goals. In the all 8 seasons he's been at Liverpool, bruv, he's got 20 goals or more in every season. Bruv, that is amazing, bruv. That's remarkable. Like, his stats are in, and now he's got like double figures for assists as well. So now he's being creative and he's scoring. Yeah, he's Mo's different, bro. Mo's different. And I can't lie to you, I might get you demonetized if I talk about it.
Just keep it PG, bro.
I was trying to keep it PG. I think Trent is the second best passer I've ever seen in my life. Gerrard's number one.
Sorry. It's funny.
But he's a rat. So his legacy is done. His legacy is done. His legacy is done. Even if you look up the meaning of legacy, what you leave behind, that doesn't mean what you did. Because that's a legend. What you did makes you a legend. You as a man adds to legacy. You can't be a shitty person and have a good legacy. It doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? You can be a legend and be a piece of shit, but you can't have legacy and be a piece of shit. It doesn't work like that. So his legacy's ruined, bro. His legacy's ruined.
How did you feel when you saw his press conference, his Real Madrid press conference, when he was speaking fluent Spanish?
I just felt vindicated. And the amount of abuse I've been getting from people saying I'm exaggerating, I'm looking into it too much, I'm hating on him, give him a bly, we've been lied to, don't listen to the club PR, everything. I said, we're talking about the same brother that was signing Real Madrid shirts last season. We're talking about the same guy who's partying with Real Madrid players instead of Liverpool players in the summer. Are we talking about the guy who's thrown up performances like Everton in the title race last season and Man U in the title race this season? We're talking about that trend. Nah, bruv. When I watched that interview, everything just felt, you know, when you get your got him moment, like, you know what I mean? Bro, the man speaking, you know already, right? We've lived in England all our life. And I think I can speak for most. I know I'm generalizing here, but I think I can speak for most. Correct me if I'm wrong. English people don't care about learning other languages. We don't need to. So if you learn a language as an English person who hasn't moved abroad, you really wanted to learn a language, bro. Like, you really wanted to learn a language. You had aspirations for a job, or you knew you was eventually going to move to that country. Bro, there are real motivations behind an English person learning a language. Do you get what I mean? Outside English. That guy was fluent in that interview, bro. How long has he been learning? With intent. That's not an accident. Did you see David Beckham's interview when he went to Real Madrid? Did you see Gareth Bale's interview when he went to Real Madrid? They embarrassed themselves, bro, trying to say Spanish words and all that. They didn't even dare themselves to the culture. That's probably one of the reasons the Spanish people don't like Gareth Bale, because he didn't even bother to learn Spanish, bro. I think he was there 4 years or 5 years. He didn't even bother learning the language, bro, which is quite ignorant. I can't live in a country for 5 years and not learn the language. That is ignorant, bro. Do you get what I mean? So for Trent to already know the language to that level, where he's answering questions and giving a monologue in Spanish, bro, he's been learning that for time. He's had a tutor. He's been grafting. He's been revising. No wonder he's playing crap against Man United. He's tired from being up all night. Learning Spanish, bro. Yeah, bro. It just made me feel vindicated, bro. You know what I mean? But if it smells like a rat, if there's rat droppings, if there's chew marks everywhere in the furniture and the wires, unless one of your kids is acting like a rabbit, you've got a rat.
He's 26, 27. You know, he's probably got another 4 or 5 years at the top. Real Madrid come calling, like, you have to take that opportunity. You have to. And I think with everything that we're doing right now, with the signings that we're making, I think everything that we're doing is cushioning the blow, because yes, it is a huge blow, but Slot has now got a new way of playing, and I think we're going to see that next season. I wish Trent all the best until he plays Liverpool, and I wish he has the worst game ever. I wish we rip him an absolute new one, but when he's in Real Madrid and playing La Liga, then cool, like, let him kind of do exactly what he's got to do. But again,
you're a better man than me, bro.
Yeah. I just kind of look at it quite objectively. I'm taking all of the emotion out of it. But
why though? Why should you take the emotion out? You're a Liverpool fan and he's done us dirty. Why should you have to take the emotion out?
Well, he was still a contributing factor for us to win in the Premier League this season. Has he had a few dodgy games? Yes, but like everyone has had dodgy games. Like we all know that Trent has that lapse of concentration. He's like he's not as quick as other fullbacks. Cool. In terms of how he plays, will suit a slower style of play and a kind of and literally Real Madrid and Spanish football. I think he will excel even more because we're not gonna press him, and he's gonna have more time on the ball.
What about when he did this? 2 Liverpool fans.
Because, he was like probably doing that, and he's probably muttering and probably practicing like his Spanish while he's doing that. Cool.
That makes it even worse, bro.
No, but like
what have about if I left for free? Either Coutinho or Suarez made sure we got money.
We got £10 million for Trent.
Bro, you're not gonna do that, bro.
No, listen. I mean, I wish him the best, because when he kind of comes to England, we want him to be playing again. For me, digressing a little bit, he should be England's first choice right back, like he should be. And I think
I don't care anymore. It's not my fight anymore, bro. Bro, only thing I won't wish on him is injury, because I'll never ever do that, because that's disgusting, and you're also like wishing harm on someone. So injury aside, I wish nothing but badness for his career. I want him to, in 2 years' time, I want him to be on loan at Leeds, bro. Like back in the Championship. Bob, I don't care about him anymore, bro. I don't wish him well. Nothing, bro. That's what I'm saying. You're a better man than me. I ain't wishing him well. I don't want him to do well. I want him to flop. I want Jude to leave, and then he's there on his own, because that's another reason why he went there, to be with his boyfriend. Bro, I don't care what happens to Trent now. I really don't. If you want to do Liverpool like that, all right.
Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the PG version of what Drifty has to say. If you kind of want the uncensored version, go and follow Kopish, where it's a completely different tone. Who do you think is being the most underrated Liverpool player in the wider aspects of the football community?
I'll probably say Luis Diaz. For some reason, I hear people saying things like he's not good enough and we should get rid of him. I'm like, who are you watching? This kid's a star. I think he gets underrated so much. And I think a lot of what he does that people maybe don't like might be instruction. Because, I mean, you look when he plays for Colombia, and he looks like he's just got the freedom to do what he wants. Whereas when he's at Liverpool, he looks like he plays a lot more structured, which makes sense. But maybe that's the reason why he's not doing the things that people want him to do, which is always constantly take players on and all that stuff. When he plays for Colombia, he does. You know what I mean? He's always taking people on when he plays for Colombia. Different role in the team. Doesn't mean he hasn't got the ability to do it. I just think, but like, Diaz is just massively underrated by our fan base in general. Like, I don't think if Diaz is the type of player that if he played for Barcelona, everyone would say they want to buy him. But for some reason, we have him and nobody rates him. It's weird. I'm so confused with the way people treat Diaz. So, yeah, I think Diaz is our most undervalued player.
Okay.
Pound for pound.
I would say Mac 10.
I think the rivals don't rate Mac the way that, but I think all Liverpool fans know he's a special one. What you think? Do you think Liverpool fans underplay? Like,
no, I don't think Liverpool fans. I think when he came, people were not too sure about him. Let's be honest. Oh no,
I wanted him, bro. I've loved McAllister for a little while still.
I mean, I like vaguely remember him against Brighton. I think he's got 2 free kicks, and I'm like, okay. Literally, I genuinely thought McAllister was Scottish. And then when I'm like, right, like, because McAllister, it's the name, innit? And then
no, I think I watched an interview when he said that his great grandma, his great granddad or something is Scottish. So his heritage is Scottish.
Yeah. So literally, I thought it was Scottish. And then literally, when I'm seeing him play for Argentina, I thought, okay, cool. And I thought he was probably the 3rd best player in the final. Of course, Mbappe, Messi, and then McAllister. And then for us to get him for 30 mil was absolute bargain. But I think in the wider football community, I don't think he gets the rating. I think Liverpool fans love him, but McAllister is not.
Yeah, you might be right. Maybe he does get underplayed by rivals. Like I've had conversations with people on our channel, and I think, I'd have to reevaluate now. But at the time when I was having this conversation, which was maybe 6 months to a year ago, I think McAllister walks into every single team in world football.
Okay. But it's a fact that McAllister wasn't even spoken about in terms of like the as like part of the Prem team of the year. Like he wasn't even spoken about at all.
Yeah, he was amazing this year. And one of the key reasons why we won the league is brilliant. But he'll be going Real Madrid if we don't give him a new contract. So we better give him a new. He's got 3 years left in his deal, but he needs a pay rise so that they can't tempt him with money. Even that's one of the things we need to be doing this summer is giving McAllister a new contract. I love that kid. He's such a baller, bro.
Let's kind of talk about the platform that you've created, literally from zero. Like from like zero to where it is now, one of the biggest Liverpool channels in the UK, with the people who you network with now, and the kind of opportunities that you're kind of creating for yourself, which is absolutely amazing. And actually, I'm gonna give you like your flowers right now, man. We've known each other for over 20 years, and if someone said, who's the one person that's gonna make a full-time living from talking about Liverpool? Drifty. No one else. No one else. So literally, what you've made
eat, sleep, breathe Liverpool is crazy.
Yeah, bro. Like it's just unbelievable. So honestly, like I salute you 100%.
No, I appreciate it.
What's been the biggest challenge for you creating the like content that you guys do now?
The biggest challenge. It probably goes back to what I said at the beginning, where it was like just being able to tell yourself it's okay to be honest, even if people aren't going to like what you're saying. Because controversy obviously brings a lot of heat. And obviously we don't say anything stupid, but like opinions bother people for some reason. And my opinions seem to be very different from a lot of other people. So I seem to rattle a lot of people when I say things. So I guess one of the challenges is just making sure you're always true to yourself and you don't bow down to the peer pressure of being politically correct or going with everyone else's opinion so you don't stand out. Trying not to let life get in the way is an obstacle as well, like because you're trying to live your real life at the same time. And because we do it full time now, I guess you're supposed to be able to dedicate your life to it, but it isn't typical work hours. That's the thing. Like I could be doing one video at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then the next video I'm doing is 11 o'clock at night. And there's no job where your day's that long. Do you get what I mean? Or very few, maybe a lawyer or a doctor, but there's very few jobs where your day would be that long. Do you get what I mean? So it's one of them things where, like, I guess life is like an obstacle or can make it difficult. You have to have a very understanding wifey who will be okay with it being 1 o'clock in the morning and you're jumping out of bed and pausing the movie you were watching because news has just broke of a signing. Like, try explaining that to a grown woman. Even if she knows what you do for a living, try explain to a grown woman why you're pausing the new Jurassic Park and she might as well go sleep because you're going to be gone for a while to go and talk about football. Like, how do you explain that to a grown woman? And a lot of people forget that element of what we do. Do you get what I mean? So yeah, that can be a little bit of a challenge as well. Just life, innit? Just like your personal life. Many a night I've given up going out because I know I've got to work, I've got to film on a Friday or a Saturday, and you know you want to be out there shaking a leg, but you're like, nah, Liverpool's playing, or do you know what I mean? I got to work. So yeah, I'll say that's one of the bigger challenges as well, like getting your life to evolve around it.
With everything that's been going on in football, with like racism on like social media, you know, that like we all hear, and it's kind of absolutely awful that we're in a day and age where like, you know, people still have this type of rhetoric. How important is it to you as a black man, and literally as a kind of black owned YouTube channel, how important is it to you to kind of represent not only Liverpool club, but also football in general?
It's a big responsibility, but I take a lot of pride in it. A lot of people reach out to us from around the world, even live shows that we do from every part of the globe. And it's beautiful, man. I love it. I love the way football brings people together. I love it. I love the fact that people think that we are an inspiration, a feeling of welcomeness. I've had so many, like, for example, so with my heritage being Jamaican, and all the guys as well, Matt and Cal, everyone's heritage is Jamaican. We make a lot of jokes and a lot of comments that are from our culture. Do you know what I mean? And we've had a lot of fun with, even like, we got this one guy called Henry. I love him. He's an American guy. And he will call in and he will ask us what things mean, because he'll watch the show and he just wants to enjoy the joke as much as we are. So like, I remember one time he called in, he's like, guys, I've got like all these things that you say, I just want to know what they mean so I can like get the joke. And it was hilarious, and we was like teaching him in the stream like what things meant or whatever. It was hilarious and I loved it. And that's just that cultural reach that we can give to the world, and what Liverpool has, you know what I mean? And the thing that I love the most, though, is the connection that I've made with so many people on social media from Jamaica and from the Caribbean, because they really can see themselves in us. Obviously, but we just talk, you know, more English. But it's like they gravitate towards us because we are the same. Do you get what I mean? So then when they hit me up, like a couple of them have even started YouTube channels and told me I'm the inspiration for why they've done it. They see themselves in me, and I'm not gonna lie, bro. It's humbling as hell. Not to get cheesy, but it's really humbling. It's such a pathetic low level in a comparison to like a Princess Diana or someone who's really changing lives and did work. You know what I mean? But like in my world, it's a big deal, and I'm proud of it, man. It feels really good for somebody to tell me I've inspired them because they just see themselves in me. You know what I mean? And then to get the support from it as well, it's been wicked, man. It's been wicked. I love the diversity of Kopish and the diversity of the Liverpool fan base in general. I love it. And there's nothing better than bringing people together, man. I mean, again, not to get political, but racism just doesn't even make sense in 2025. But like, whatever we can do to get rid of it, because we all bleed the same and we're all humans. And light to dark tone shouldn't make no difference about how we look at each other, treat each other. None of that shit, bro. You know what I mean? So just watching Liverpool break those barriers down, even if for that moment, everybody just forgets everyone's different and we're just Liverpool fans. You saw at the parade, bro. We weren't black, brown. We weren't black, Asian, white. We weren't none of that. We were just Liverpool fans, bro. It was amazing, bro. It was amazing, bro. I loved it, bro. So, yeah, man. I love this club. I love the diversity. I love everything about it. And I'm honored to be a part of it and be seen as a kind of face of it, if that's a weird way of putting it. Yeah, man, it's beautiful.
When Virgil retires, which is going to be in the next 20 years, who do you think is going to be our next captain?
I won't be around for it. I'm taking a sabbatical. You think, you know what? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Sorry to go on a tangent, but I don't know if I can live in a world where Salah, Virgil, and Alisson don't play for Liverpool.
It's mad, I know,
bro. And we're very close to it being a reality now because they're all getting on. I don't want to live in that world, bro. I don't. Honestly, I don't. So like, I dread the thought of it. But I'd probably say the best person to take over if you're talking about long term would probably be McAllister. I think McAllister, if you're looking at in like 2 or 3 years' time, then I'd probably say, I mean, I hope McAllister's still here, God's willing. I'll probably say McAllister. If you said to me, Virgil suspended for tomorrow's game, who'd you make captain now? Mo or Robinson? Probably Mo, because Robbo really shouldn't start now, especially if we're getting Kirkes. So probably Mo. But if you're talking about the future, don't get me. Ali's a shout actually as well. I just don't like my goalie being a captain, but Ali should be captain as well. Yeah, McAllister probably. If you're talking about like in a few years' time.
Okay. Can you give me a name of a youngster in our academy who you think could have a breakthrough season? The up and coming season.
I'm not sure if I would say that he could break through this year because he's still only 17, which is really young. But in terms of promising, it will be Rio. I think you pronounce his surname Gumoa. I'm not sure. I'm not sure which African country is his heritage. So I don't even know if you would know. It's Ngumoha. I don't know if that's Ghanaian, Nigerian. I don't know what type of but I think Nguma, I think that's how you pronounce it. Rio Nguma.
Trust me, bro, he'll be playing for England. Why are you saying Nigeria, Ghana? My man's playing for England, bro. Yo, if he's good enough, Tuchel is gonna say yes.
You know what's funny is how sad and accurate that is. Like it's true. Bro. He's not gonna. Wherever I don't Kenya, like, wherever he's from, he's gonna pick England. No, it's so true, bro. He's gonna pick England.
He's gonna pick England, man.
It's so true. It's so true. South African. I don't know where. Cameroonian. Wherever he's from, you're so right. He's just gonna pick England. It doesn't matter. England, man. But yeah, he looks good, man. He looks so good. Chelsea are vexed we stole him. Chelsea are vexed we stole him, bro. He looks good. But because he's only 17, I'm not sure if this season, it's a bit too early, innit? It's just a bit too early, maybe, to think that he'll get some game time this year. Maybe an odd game in the cup, though. Carabao Cup, maybe, or you know what I mean? I think he'll take part in pre-season as well. Liverpool managers do tend to use a lot of young players in the academy just to give them a bit of experience during preseason and stuff. So I think he'll probably play some preseason games. But he's special, bro. Yeah, he's really, really good. Yeah. Date of birth, 29th of August, 2008.
Oh, wow, bro. Don't say 2008 to me, bro.
He's a baby, bro.
Yeah. Anyone that's born in the 2000s just doesn't make sense to me.
He's 17, bro. But no, he's brilliant. He's very, very good. So he's the one I've got the highest hopes for out of the academy.
All right. Give me your bold predictions. Your bold predictions for over the next 3 years for Liverpool. And I want it to be bold, bro. Don't say, we're gonna. No, like I want.
Well, I'm gonna be realistic though. I'm not just gonna gash you. I'm gonna be realistic.
Okay.
3 years is quite difficult to think of because football does change so much in just 12 months. Never mind 3 years. What I will realistically say, but being bold, is we retain the Premier League this year. I think we retain the Premier League and we go back to back for the first time in Premier League. And in the next 3 years, we win 4 trophies minimum, one of which will be the Champions League.
Okay.
If we get Isak through the door, like I think we will this summer, or if not a real gunman, I think we win Liverpool. I think we win the Premier League and the Champions League.
Next season.
Next season. If we get Alvarez, Isak, Gokares, one of those, Osherman, we get one of those on top of Florian and we keep Diaz, yeah, we're doing a double.